You know how there are groups of people out there that only see horror as a genre with sex and violence and gore? Don't take them to see this movie. We follow a group of young filmmakers in 1979 who set out to make a porno in rural Texas, and they rent out this house belonging to an elderly couple, but they don't tell the couple what it is they're actually doing. But before I properly start with my review for Ti West's X, I want you to start the conversation about it in the comments below. If you've seen it, if you're excited for it, anything and everything down there. And of course, if you love movies and TV, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation in your favorite movies and TV. I went into this film very blind, as I like to do with a ton of films. I only knew that it was horror, that Jenna Ortega was in it, and that's it. And Ti West took me in for a surprise. This is a callback film. This is a film that feels like it belongs in the 70s. It feels like a Friday the 13th, a classic slasher in every regard. Like, you have this group of teenagers and young adults who are doing something they shouldn't, and you have these old notions about sex and recklessness, and you have the new generation versus the old generation. The tropes are all there, but what I love is what Ti West has to say about it. First of all, his direction is very sophisticated. He directs the shit out of this film with enough sensibilities from the 70s where it feels like this film belongs back there. It is shot beautifully and very unsettlingly so. There are just so many shots and visual cues in this film that creep you the fuck out, that just feel off. So many moments. They feel slightly longer than they should be. They feel slightly shorter than they should be. Another really phenomenal technical aspect is the sound design. It's really fucking immersive. Not only in what you'll obviously hear in a film like this. You hear dialogue, you hear ambience noise. The little details, like little crickets in the distance, like the little steps creaking the floors as people walk at night in the distance. It's little stuff like that that you don't really notice on a first watch most of the time. But West really nails it with this one. You just feel transported back to the 70s, into this setting. It's just really fucking well done. And amongst this group of filmmakers, there's this guy, and they're making porno. That's what they're doing, but he wants to elevate porno. He wants to make something more. He wants to make the first porno where people look at it and they see cinema. And the rest of the characters think it's just okay to be making a porno, and there's nothing wrong with it, and it shouldn't be looked down upon. And to me, that's the real meat of this film. That's what West is really trying to say of this film, where we've gotten to this point where we have this discussion about elevated horror and cheap horror, and there's no difference. It's okay for this film to just be a slasher and have fun with it. This film is very gory. It has a ton of practical effects that are awesome to see. It has a ton of carnage candy, and it's just real fun because of that. And that's perfectly fine. And it's actually really fucking funny. The whole first hour of the film, just seeing these characters make this porno and their interactions as a group is really fucking good. And it's just really fucking fun because you're setting them up as characters, you're spending some time with them, and you're just building up to the fun part of slashers, which is the slashing, the violence, the horror of it all. And when you do get to that slasher part, the film is effectively horrifying and creepy and unsettling. It creates this atmosphere around this farm where they're staying and shooting this porno that is just really effective. And I love just how West sets up certain payoffs in this film with the horror. I particularly love how he uses a Chekhov's gun in such an ingenious way. But as a callback film, while it betters certain aspects and freshens up the formula a bit, it also has a few of the issues that certain films of the type back in the era also have, and that is just that certain characters in this film makes such stupid decisions, and while it's fun to see them pay for such stupid decisions, it's also frustrating because the characters are actually set up quite nicely, and the film does have something to say. So while it elevates the genre and the formula a bit, it also falls back on the same traps that other films before did. I also didn't buy the villains too much in this film. They weren't effective villains for me. They were creepy, but I didn't buy them as true menaces. And because I didn't buy into the villainous presence of this film too much on that second half, it felt like I was there for the moments, the carnage, the gore, the death, the killing. I was there for it. I was having the time of my life in those moments, but I wasn't too much hooked in, no pun intended, as I went along for the ride. What I want to see more from Wes, knowing that he has a prequel already done for this film, is see him reshape and reinvigorate the genre, doing so many of the things that he does so incredibly well in this film. It's really that script that just doesn't let this film be quite great, unfortunately. X is an effective throwback to a long-gone era of horror, while it unfortunately falls upon some of the same trappings the genre did before. It also elevates the heights that this genre as a whole could have ever reached. I'm giving X a B. Feels weird to say I'm giving X a B and not an X, you know, but those are only my thoughts on X. I want to know what you thought about it. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. There are so many more reviews right now up on the channel, and I have so many others coming soon. So if you enjoy what you saw here, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. And thank you to my channel members Bruna and Stuart for making this video possible. And so until the next one, love each other, and love the movies.